Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another week and another episode of the Big Bala Brands podcast. Thank you guys, as always, for tuning in. If you're catching this on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, or iHeartRadio, thank you guys so much for always tuning in and giving yourself the gift of this podcast. What stories did we all hear growing up? What stories did we all believe? What were things that maybe we were told and it came to money that you still tolerate to this day? I'm not here to question anybody's faith, but I think a lot of times in life, whatever faith we chose, the religion, that path can often have a very massive impact on us because we hear a lot of things like money is the root of all evil, rich people are greedy, rich people have exploited, money is dirty, it's materialistic. We don't need that. Something I heard growing up was simple living, high thinking. But if you really take a step back and ask yourself, what does all that really mean? Really, what is simple living, high thinking? Why is money the root of all evil? And how did the people who maybe told you or the stories you heard, where did those origin stories come from? Were they also planted in someone else? And I say this not to discredit anyone's faith at all. I say this because I think it's important to be aware how much the things that we hear and what we are immersed in plays a very strong impact on us. Why is it that we tolerate not having more than we deserve? Whether that's a better home, better car, better income. Like, why do we tolerate having less than what we deserve? Because if you really think about it, if we all deserve much more, but we sometimes don't know how to ask for it, or we just don't ask at all. But having much more provides more for us to give. And while I may not be the best history buff, but there are so many people out there who probably study a lot of like scripture and history and Greek mythology, things like they could probably find passages where different gods, to say, would encourage us to have more fortune, more wealth, more abundance. It's not just for a select few. And if you think about it, the more we are provided for, the more we bring into our life, the more we're able to give. And it is almost like we have a duty, a responsibility to take the money that we make, that the world rewards us with based on what we bring to the world, to multiply it, to make more of it, to give more to the world, to give more to those in need who need it, who may not have the resources that we have in order to create abundance. But it all starts with us. Why is it that we tolerate not having more, not having the tool, the resource to provide for others? Simply because of beliefs that we have so ingrained in us and that we choose to live with, that hold us back from our true potential as well. Because at the end of the day, it's not just about the money. It's not. It's about the person we all become more of, the value that we create in life, and the reward we get through opulence and wealth money, having the treasure, having the gold, and how we're able to serve more of mankind through that, through using that tool. But a lot of times, I think we tend to hold ourselves back from having more, wanting more, because we're told that no, we should just accept what is and not ask for more from life. But then we're also doing a disservice to so many others through the experiences that we have in life and the lessons we've learned to get to them, and what others are willing to say, hey, because you've prevented me from experiencing so much hiccups and setbacks in life through your journey, you deserve to be rewarded by receiving abundance, receiving wealth. So we also do a disservice when we are actively not creating more value in the world, and that value rewards us. And we should be willing and open to accept that, because that is also, whether you believe in God or not, but whether it's life, faith, the universe, whatever it is you believe in, says, here you go. Use this wisely, multiply it, give more to my children, give more to life, give more to those in need. And maybe we may look at the world and say, oh, other people have so much more than I do, but they don't give as much as they should. But that is not for us to judge, for us to be concerned about, for us to sit there and they should give more. What about us? Instead of pointing at someone else, look inwards and ask yourself, what are you giving? What gifts has life, has God, has the universe given you? What skills, what life experience have you received in this life that can be used to help others? And so I say this because I think a lot of times we get so fixated on maybe things we heard growing up or around us, and we choose to only believe that versus break out of those chains and not tolerate things that we've been tolerating for so long, and instead go out and make something in life, make something that's never existed, or whatever the thing is that you're really good at. Be grateful that you have that skill and that gift that someone else doesn't have, and that you're willing and that you're capable and that you are able to go out there and solve that problem for somebody and be rewarded for it. What is so wrong with having wealth in life? What is so wrong about you having a rich life? And not everybody wants that, and that's totally okay. But what's wrong with someone having a few million, hundreds of millions? What's wrong with having a business that employs people and serves the world somehow? What is wrong with you building that, with you wanting that, with you chasing that? And why should you hold back that gift that you've been given? That all those things in life that you've experienced, that life said, okay, now you have the experience, you've gone through the curriculum. It is not your duty to go teach somebody else. It is not your duty to go solve someone else's pain, someone else's problem, because you went through it. And in return, you're going to also receive the pot of gold. You're going to get the treasure. I think that is what life wants for all of us. I think that is something that God would say, it's okay to have wealth in your life. It's okay to have more so you can give more and provide more, and so you can learn to be more for others and yourself. And I think we do a disservice when we don't look at that and we don't acknowledge and appreciate those things. I was recently in a seminar about using money as a mission, and it was so impactful because when you're in a room with so many other different people that come from so many different backgrounds, you see how everyone has so many similar stories or very different stories, but they all come back to the core, some core elements. That we all have certain stories, beliefs, we all have pushback, we all think we're not worthy of more by conditioning. And it's always fascinating to me that we naturally want to avoid these things. We push back, we feel our bodies want us to go backwards and stay where we are, but we also have that feeling of we want to go and push forward for more. And I think one of the best questions that we were asked in that seminar is, what are we tolerating? Why are we tolerating? And if we didn't tolerate, what would we receive? And why do you feel like you're not worthy of receiving that? And this is something I would ask myself, and I would encourage you to ask yourself. Why is it that we tolerate all these things? When we could have so much more in life. It's not about being greedy. It's not about having more than anyone else. It's about what we bring to life in the world and to help others. One of the things that I took away from the seminar that I wanted to share was that I had a moment where I realized I didn't want to chase money just to live. I wanted to receive massive amounts of wealth for the value I create for others, for the service that I bring to others. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Just whoever, everyone that's listening to this, you all have a very unique gift, something special, something the world needs, something the world wants, something that will help someone else, whether directly or indirectly. This is the gifts we've all been given by life. And you should not avoid it. You should not resist it, even though you will have that, because there's a part of us that wants to keep us in our old identity versus the new identity. So I want you to really think about all this. What are you tolerating, and what are you need to stop tolerating in yourself? And when you stop tolerating, what difference is that going to make in your life and in the world and in someone else's life? Thank you guys for tuning in for another week. Hope you enjoy this episode. As always, please hit the subscribe button, please hit the like button, comment, and tune in every week for another episode. And just know that I'm here every week for you guys, with you guys. Take it one day at a time. You're doing much better than you think you are, even when it feels tough. Till next time, Bala out. Have a good rest of your week.